Hello, this is Mandy with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is DocuSign 101. So, DocuSign is a platform where you can get your forms, your documents, also edit them and send them to your clients and contacts to get signatures, have them review the documents, and then also receive them back. So, um, Maddie, I'm so sorry. I made Maddie think that it was her audio or his audio that glitched. No, it was me on mute. I thought I was unmuted talking to you guys. It's operator error today. But anyway, if you guys are here live with me, definitely put any comments or questions in the chat. Guys, I'll be happy to get those answered in real time for you. If you're listening to this back on a recording, you can also reach out to us via email support@scottleroymarketing.com. For all the newbies coming in, I'm going to go ahead and drop links in the chat again for you. That way you do also have that email at your disposal to always reach out to us if you need anything. Um, not just for troubleshooting, guys, also for free templates, free marketing, free resources, free training, free support services. We have a lot to offer, and so please put us to work. We want to help support you in your business. And the second link is our YouTube channel where you can find the class archives and tech tip videos at any time. Today's recording will be put on that YouTube channel as well, usually within about 24 hours. And but the archive's already there, so you can definitely check that out too. So let's get back to what DocuSign is. Again, that signature platform, it actually links to your command and works hand in hand with your opportunities. If you haven't jumped into opportunities just yet in your command, you may want to check out our opportunities and sales pipeline class. That walks you from start to closing with an opportunity through command. Okay. This class is kind of like part two to that. I'm going to walk you through DocuSign, the portion that goes over how to get forms, how to edit them, and how to send and receive them in DocuSign. Okay. I will also touch on getting those turned into your market center for compliance. All right. So let's first look at in command where DocuSign actually links to your command account. You will want to make sure that you, number one, you have a KW DocuSign account that is compatible with command, and you'll also want to make sure it's linked to command. So first, let's go to your name in the top right of command and choose to go to settings. Now ours is already connected. You can see DocuSign listed right here under connected apps, and it shows in connected status. Hopefully, this is what you see within your own command account. If you see something different, you should see a connect button right here to the right. I'm going to show you that here in just 2 seconds. Come back down to DocuSign now that it's not connected. If this is what you're seeing, DocuSign, not in connected status, you'll want to click the Connect Account button. And if you do not have a KW DocuSign account just yet, this is where you would set it up. You would send yourself the registration email by clicking this button at the bottom. Make sure this is how you want your name to appear and that this is your business email, and then click Send Registration Email. That will send an email to your inbox. You will need to follow the steps within that email to do things like complete the setup of the DocuSign account and also create your password. It does need to be, again, a KW DocuSign account in order to be compatible with command. If you're having any connection issues, if you're having any errors at all, you can always reach out to us. We'll be happy to look at the account and confirm whether or not it is a KW account and if it is compatible with command. If you already have a KW DocuSign account and you're just looking to connect it to command, then you can choose the Login Here option. It will then ask you for your business email. Give me 2 seconds for us to grab our demo. There we go. And you'll put the login email that you use for that account right here and choose Login to DocuSign. It should also prompt you for your password. like so, and then click Login. This is how you link that KW DocuSign to your command. You get that teal banner of success. Now, our DocuSign account has moved out of the digital signature section and now appears under Connected Apps. Shows DocuSign and shows connected status again. This is what you're looking for. Okay? If you have any trouble getting to this particular point right here, just let us know. We're happy to help. Now that DocuSign is linked to your command, now you would want to start jumping in to opportunities and make sure you've created your opportunity. What I'm fixing to show you is how to access DocuSign through your command account. It is important to do this way when you're creating a brand new opportunity. You will always want to go through command to get to DocuSign the first time when you're creating that opportunity. That way you can make sure that your opportunity is linked correctly to your DocuSign account. Okay? After that, after the opportunity is made, after your KW Docusign room is made, and you've done the steps I'm fixing to show you, then on the fly, of course, you can go straight into like the Docusign app or Docusign.com. But for that initial time when you're just starting your opportunity, you will want to make sure you go through command. So I'm going to show you that here now. You'll go to your opportunities tab over here on the far left. It's the two hands shaking. If you're not super familiar with the icons yet, you can click that red square at the top and it will pop the names out for you of these different icons, okay? You can click that red square again to hide them. So once you're here underneath your Opportunities tab, you'll want to make sure you come over here to the top right and create an opportunity. Our Opportunities and Sales Pipeline class goes through this particular step, okay? So go and watch that. If you haven't ever created an opportunity, it will walk you through all the fields. Today, I'm going to go to an existing opportunity to show you how to, again, access DocuSign through your opportunity. So I'm just going to go to all opportunities and then click on our opportunity here. And once you're in your opportunity, whether you just created it or you're accessing one that's already existing, you'll want to come to your Documents tab right here. One more step over here on the left. Well, one more step before we create the DocuSign room is over here on the left. You'll want to make sure a compliance checklist has been selected over here if you see the option to do so. These are compliance checklists that are created by your market centers. Every market center's checklist will look a little different more than likely, but you should have the option right over here on the left to choose a particular compliance checklist that applies to the type of opportunity you're in. So we'll just choose residential listing for today. Once that checklist is selected, you should see your documents listed right here in the center. We will be coming back to visit this at the end of class, towards the end of class, because I'll show you how to actually get all of these documents submitted to your market center for compliance, okay? But this at least tells you what forms that you need to be accessing in your DocuSign to get signed by your clients to submit for a listing once you have the property listed, once it goes under contract, and then also once it's closed, okay? Once you've got that checklist selected, now over on the right, if it's a brand new opportunity, it will have a big button right here that says Start a Transaction. You will want to click that to actually access DocuSign, and it will create a KW DocuSign room, otherwise referenced as your room. Okay? A room is just a space for you to keep all of your documents that apply to this particular transaction. If you've already clicked Start a Transaction, it will show go to transaction. This is just a little indicator that you've already created your DocuSign room, but it still works the same way. This is the button you want to click to get to your DocuSign room. So I'm going to go ahead and click go to transaction. And this brings us to our room. Okay. You'll have your contact's name. If you have an address already associated with your opportunity, it will appear here. And sometimes your market center will have forms that automatically populate in the room for you. Okay, so you may see some documents already here. It's okay if you don't. Some market centers don't set that up, or it's not required in your area to have particular forms that you'll use for every transaction. So don't be alarmed if my screen's a little bit different. Mine's also a demo account. So if you see something screwy and it doesn't make sense, just ask me, I'll tell you. But now that we're in our DocuSign room, I'm going to click back to that opportunity and touch on this one point again because it's so critical. Now that you see go to transaction and that indicates to you that your DocuSign room has been created, now for this transaction, you can start going to things like DocuSign app or DocuSign.com directly for that transaction and you won't mess anything up. So again, if you need to access your forms on the fly, on the go, feel free to go ahead and access that room straight by going to DocuSign directly for this transaction. It's just when it's your very first time creating this transaction, if your opportunity was just created and it says start a transaction, you want to do that first from a desktop or laptop right here from within your opportunity to create that DocuSign room from here first. That way you know that your opportunity is correctly linked to your DocuSign room. Okay? All right. I think I've belated the point, but I just want to make sure that we're fully aware of that because that's when it kind of gets a hiccup. If you go to DocuSign before your opportunity is created and you don't link them properly, they won't talk right to each other. And it just makes more legwork for you, the agent on the back end. So now that we're here in our DocuSign room, I want to show you how to actually access your forms or integrate your forms with your DocuSign account, especially if this is your first time coming into your DocuSign room or your DocuSign account. Now, some of what I'm fixing to share, it does apply to 99% of the agents. However, some particular states or areas do not integrate forms the way I'm fixing to show, like our California agents or our Canadian agents. You may actually want to speak with your market center because you will actually be getting your forms from like CAR in California, and in Canada, you also get them from, I believe, your association as well up there. What I'm fixing to show is usually the way that you will integrate your forms into DocuSign using your NRDS number, also known as your M1 number, okay? Your National Association of Realtors number. So you'll just want to make sure your forms are integrated by going to your initials in the top right and coming to Preferences. If you were set up by Scott Leroy here, chances are this is already done for you, but you'll want to go to Integrations on the far left just to make sure that those forms are integrated into your account. If it's all set up, you should see company forms listed right here. That means I'll show you how to do it. If you don't see company forms, you would click Add Provider, and this line right here would be a blue hyperlink that you can click to continue to company forms without validation. This is adding your Market Center forms to your DocuSign account so that you can access them. So I'm going to do that again. Click Add Provider. And if this line right here is a blue hyperlink, go ahead and click that. Once you do, you should see company forms listed right here under providers. That is your Market Center forms. Okay. The other thing you'll want to integrate is that NRDS number. You will click Add Provider, choose the association that applies to you. The majority will choose just Realtor right here for NAR. You'll want to enter your NRDS number. They've started terming this your M1 number. It's usually a 9-digit number that is specific to you. If you're not sure of what that number is, you can choose Find Your Member ID. It will open a new tab. It takes you to the National Associations of Realtors website, and you can search for your NRDS A or M1 number by either entering your last name and your email associated with your NAR account, or you can enter your last name with your real estate license number. Anytime you're doing this particular part, guys, the spelling and punctuation on your name is critical. It has to be exactly as your name appears on your state license, your state real estate license. We've seen this error out based on like a punctuation or an initial. If you have a hyphen in your name, anything like that, it can cause it to error out and say that they can't find your NRDS. So just know you need to make sure your last name right here is just as it appears on your state real estate license. Um, Under profile, I'm getting a question in the chat. It would be, let me show you how I got here again, just one more time. So we went to the top right up here to your initials. We chose preferences. And then on the left, chose integrations. Okay. And there is another tip video, guys, I believe on our YouTube channel that shows you exactly how to do this as well. Um, so when you come to your initial at the top right, you're not seeing preferences as an option to choose. If you're not seeing preferences, you may want to take a screenshot of that and email us. Because you should even if your DocuSign account's not compatible, you should still see an option for preferences right there. So we'll definitely need to look at that for you. Okay, I'm going to drop that email in the chat one more time for you here. I say one more time. I'm probably going to do it a million times before the end of class. But there's our email right there. Okay, because we want to make sure you've got everything set up right. So again, add provider, realtor, enter that NERDS number, NRDS number, enter your last name just as it appears on your state license, and then choose your association that you're a member of from the drop-down. Once you enter all three of those fields, you can click Validate, and hopefully you get a little green banner that says you did it right. And after that, right here above Company Forms, you will see that NAR integration, and it will show you that your NRDS number is now integrated with your Docusign account. Okay. Kamitra, great question. If you don't have any transactions, are you able to see the Docusign room, or is that only for active transactions? A Docusign room is created every time you do that start a transaction button from an opportunity. And if you don't have one yet, feel free to go into your opportunities in Command and create a test opportunity. Put yourself in there as the contact and put yourself in there for an opportunity. And that way you can definitely go through and just test it out and check it out. Okay. And just it's great for practice. So you can definitely go through and do that. And so once you see your NRDS number integrated above this and also your company forms, you should be good to go. For some other agents, you're welcome, no problem. For some other agents in some areas, you may be accessing zip forms for your documents, and you may want to pull those into DocuSign. You would also integrate your zip forms account right up here at the top by clicking this blue arrow, entering your zip form name and password, and clicking save. That will allow you to pull forms from your zip forms account into your DocuSign. Okay, if you have any questions about whether your market center uses the NRDS number, zip forms, or CAR, or another association, you can definitely talk to your Market Center staff and they'll be able to confirm for you what your particular location uses. Okay, I'm just showing you the most common ways to access your forms through DocuSign. All right, now that you hopefully have all your forms integrated so that you know that you have access to them, let's go over how to actually add forms into your DocuSign room in preparation to get them ready to send to your contacts. So I'm going to navigate back up here to rooms, and we're going to choose our room that we were just in. I'm going to use my little search bar to find him. I'm hesitating because of the number that's on it. All right, we'll just jump in this one. And then we go to documents. Remember when I said this is a demo account? Um, and so in in the room, went to Documents tab, and sometimes you will have forms automatically added, sometimes you won't, okay? But let me show you how to add your forms in here so that you can get them ready for signatures. There's several ways. The first and most obvious would be the Add button on your top right. When you choose this, it gives you several options. I can upload a form from my computer. This would be you adding in things like a PDF. If you're adding in a PDF, just know it will be what's called a flat PDF. This means it won't have the pre-filled fields on it where you can type in information. You'll need to add those, and I'll show you how to do it. But you can upload a PDF from your computer right here. Go ahead and show you how to do that. And you'll just choose your PDF and click Open. It's being added right here. Notice if you can see that, I know it's a little hard, but it says red PDF right here versus the blue form. Those blue forms have the pre-filled fields in them. Pre-filled fields have pre, they have fields on them that will pull the information from your opportunity into this form for you. If it's a red PDF right there, that's just your indicator that it's a flat PDF. It doesn't have fields on it just yet, but you can get them there, and I'm going to show you how. Let's go back up to Add. The next option is your DocuSign forms. These are the ones that I just showed you how to integrate from your company forms and from your NRDS number. So you can click DocuSign Forms. On the left-hand side, you'll see libraries. These are from like your MLS, your board that you've joined. It can also be from your Market Center. You will not see this many in yours. Again, this is a demo. I'm trying to find a Market Center example for you. Let me scroll down. This is what maybe a Market Center library would look like for you so that you can see your Market Center number and state, and you would know that that's the library that your Market Center is providing their forms through. When you click that on the left, it will show you all the forms in that library. You can also check them. If you check the box beside them and click Add Selected, it will add them into the DocuSign room so that you can further edit them. If you need to preview them just to make sure that's the right form that you think you're grabbing, you can go ahead and click the eyeball, and it will let you preview that form just to make sure it's the one you want. Don't be alarmed at the sample form across it. That is just because you're looking at a preview. It will not be there once you start editing the form. Okay. Once you can see that, okay, maybe that's not the one I'm looking for, you can X that out and move on to another one. So you have different libraries that you can select over here on the left. Libraries will show you all the forms in that particular library, but you also have packets up here at the top. Think of these as folders. You can see the little folder icon, and they're just usually specific for a type of transaction. You'll see here, like for a rental lease or a rental listing. um, residential resale. So you can scroll through these. Again, you won't see this many packets on yours. It's just because this is a demo, but you can scroll through your packets and see the forms that are specific to that type of transaction. So we can click on that particular packet, and this is the form that we would need for that transaction. Your market center or board can also add required labels on some of the forms to help you out so that you'll know that you absolutely have to have that. Okay. So again, you can come over here to the left and choose your packet or your library to find the forms you're looking for. Yes, Beverly, you should be able to find your contracts in here to buy and sell as well. Okay. If you're curious or you can't find something, you can always use your search bar and enter what you're looking for here. So maybe we're looking for an exclusive right. So I can type exclusive, come down here. Oh, let me minimize those. Oh, I already expanded them. Hold on a second while I scroll through all these packets to try to get to the bottom. There's our libraries. Show less. There we go. All right. So down here in our libraries, since you're not seeing that particular form, you can always come and click on another packet. It will search that packet. It will search that packet. You can click on your libraries, and now it's starting to show us the forms that actually have that word in them so that you can kind of hunt and peck and try to find that form. Okay. Johanna, if it's saying that you don't have any access to forms, you'll want to go back through those integration steps that we just did, or you can always reach out to us and we'll be happy to take a look at seeing about getting that done for you. Okay. Send us a screenshot if you don't mind too. That's always super helpful. So again, you can use the search bar. You can preview them if you need to. But once you start finding the forms that you need to add to this room, just make sure you're putting a checkbox beside them, clicking on the other folders that you need, choose the check boxes there. And once you're done selecting, it'll continue to show you how many you have selected. You can look at that tab just to make sure you've got all the right ones. Click back on Browse if you need to come find some more. But once you've selected all of your forms that you want to use, you would click Add Selected. You'll get a banner saying they've been added and you'll see them down here in the room. Okay, so that's another way to add forms. There's a few more. You can come back to Add. This is where you would grab your forms from Zip Forms. You can also grab forms from Box, Dropbox, or Google Drive if you have those linked. And you can drag and drop into this room as well from your device. I'm just going to open my files here. And you can grab your PDF and drag and drop into the room and it will populate. Okay. Last but not least, I want to show you your inbox in your Docusign account. This is how you can email forms directly into your Docusign room. You have an inbox tab up here at the top. On the top left, you will see your specific email address for your Docusign room. You would just simply attach documents as PDFs to an email and send it to this address, and they would appear here within your inbox. Then you can divvy them up and put them in which rooms that they need to go to from there. Okay. If you want to actually customize that particular email, you do have options to do that when you go to your name at the top right and click on Preferences. So those are all the ways that you can get forms into your Docusign room. Now let's actually go and start looking at how to edit those particular forms. Okay. Going back to our room here, going back to our Documents tab. So we have forms here. If you have filled out the Opportunities Details tab, that information will populate on your forms when you come to edit them. I'm going to show you where that Details tab is. It's over here underneath Opportunities. We're back in Command. This is our opportunity. And you can click on Details. And right here in Details, you can fill in like the property information, your contacts information, and key dates for your opportunity. So you'll want to keep this particular tab updated within your opportunities, and at any point you can click Sync Transaction and it will push this information over to your Docusign room. Now again, demo account, you may see a different address here than what we're looking at on our room, but in your particular case, when you sync your transaction information, the same information that is on your Opportunities Details tab will also appear in your Docusign room. If you ever need to check to make sure it's the same information, you can always come right here to another Details tab that's within your Docusign room itself and update this information if you need to. Your seller and buyer information is over here on the right. And in the center of the page, center left, this would be some financial information and property details, along with, if you scroll up, it goes into offer details if you have one, listing details, and then the address information as well. Okay. So once you know that your information on your opportunity details tab is up to date, double check this tab if you feel like anything might need updating. You can come right here to Documents and now begin editing your forms. To do that, if it's a blue form like this, which means you got it out of your DocuSign forms and it is what they call a power form, that means there's going to be fields already on it for you. You can literally simply just click on the form itself and it will open a window for you to make edits. Notice that these fields have already populated. You can put your cursor in any of these text boxes and begin typing the information. If somebody could give me a thumbs up if you can still see my screen and hear me, that would be great. I just had a little glitch on my end. I just want to make sure we're still here all together. Okay, Mark, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, good to go. Um, you can put your cursor into these boxes and begin entering any information that you want to. Okay. Notice that now we have a save and close button available now that we're making changes. And the information that you're seeing pre-populated should be coming from your Opportunities Details page and also your Docusign Room Details page. So it will pre-fill the information if you have it filled out, and all the other boxes you can simply click on and make those changes. You'll notice that initial boxes, and if we go to the end of our form here, signature boxes. Where's the signature? There we go. So signature boxes, they may not appear when you're here to edit the form. That's okay. They will be there when we get into the envelope to actually send it to the contact. Okay. The fields that you're seeing here are the ones that you can edit and make changes to in order to get that form ready to send for signatures. Once you're done making changes, you would simply click Save and Close. And it takes a second. There we go. And so you can move on to your other forms. If they're a blue form like that, just click on them, make edits to the fields that you need to in order to prepare that form to send for signature. Okay. If it is that red PDF, let me hunt that little guy. There's one. So if it's a red PDF, when I click this, you'll be able to see there's no fields already on this form because it's a flat PDF that I just updated from my account, or I uploaded from my computer. Let me say it better. That's okay. We're going to add those fields once we send it for signature. Okay, so I'm just going to close this out. And we got a question in the chat. When having to connect a car okay, instead of Realtor, would I have to edit the forms on car before adding them to DocuSign? Caesar, fabulous question. I believe the answer is yes, that you actually edit the forms in car. But please check with your market center first because that will be a particular process just for your area. So you'll just want to make sure you check with your market center staff for what is protocol there and what's easiest too. Okay, you're welcome. And so that is how you would edit the forms. Click on them, fill in the fields. If they're PDFs, I'm going to show you once we get it into your room. You do have a hidden menu here that I want to show you guys when you are in here working on your forms as well. If you click the box of any form to select it, this top left corner, you'll see that menu appear right here. So it gives you options like making a copy, move the form somewhere else, email it, print it. I'm going to skip the pen. This is the envelope. You download it, archive it, or delete it. Okay. There's also an option here to split or combine PDFs. If you have like the PDFs we uploaded from our computer, we can select two PDFs and then we have an option now to combine them together. So you've got some options here if you need to work on these forms. That's a little more in depth into DocuSign and not necessarily on par for our DocuSign 101 class. I just wanted you to see that you do have that hidden menu there. The deeper you go into DocuSign and the more you use it, you've got more options there. Now that we've talked about how to edit the forms, let's get these ready to send to our clients for signatures. You would want to select the forms that you want to send for signature. Let's just pick two here. And then now we can go to our pen that gives us the option to create an envelope. It's a digital envelope. Just think of yourself as getting a letter ready. These are the forms that you're going to stuff in that envelope and send to them digitally. So you would click the pen, excuse me, I had to clear my throat. And so here you're going to pick who you're sending this to. It's trying to gather the information for you from your opportunities details tab so that it can pre-fill information and know who is going to be active on this envelope. So since this is a listing opportunity, we'll say the listing agent is going to participate in this and seller one, and we'll click continue. It may take it just a second. All right. So there's a few sections. Now that we're back here in the envelope, I'm going to go through those with you. The top section is for your documents. It shows us the two forms that we just added to the envelope. But if you forgot something, you can come right here and click upload and add more forms. You also have the option to drag and drop these in different order. You can also view them if maybe you're not 100% sure that was the form you meant to grab. And you see these three tiny little dots. You do have some other features as well. Whenever you see three dots like that, it's just like in Command. It means you've got a hidden menu and you can always click those to see your other options. Okay. Once you have your forms up here, like you want them, they're in the order that you want them to appear in, you can scroll down and start working on your recipients. These are who are going to be participating in this envelope. You'll notice that we have our listing agent populated first and then our seller populated here. And it grabbed that information from our opportunity details page and went ahead and filled that in for us. Right here is the action you want that person to take. So maybe it's a person that needs to sign, so we'll select that. But maybe this particular person, they're either going to sign in person, just receive a copy. Maybe I just need confirmation that they actually viewed the document. This is a good choice when you're sending like a finalized contract or an offer to another agent, and you just need confirmation that they actually looked at the document. So there's several actions here that you can choose from that aren't just necessarily needs to sign. Okay. Once you choose the appropriate action and you have their name and their email added here, you just might want to check your signing order right here. Now, you can uncheck this, and it means that the envelope, the digital envelope for these documents, will go out to every recipient you have listed here at the same time. If you need it to go to one person and then the next, and you need them to be in order, you can always choose to set signing order and decide who gets what when. So let's say I actually want the seller to get it first before it comes back to the listing agent. So we can just drag and drop them in another order. Just make sure your numbers go back to the order that you want. So this indicates the listing agent. I thought I just swapped those. Hold on. There we go. All right. Hold on just a second, guys. There we go. So it should be seller one now gets it first, and then the listing agent gets it second. Okay. So once you're done with your recipients, and do know that you can add recipients, you can even add a delay in between them. Go ahead and work on that if it applies to your transaction. But once you're done with your recipients, you would move down to the message section. This is where you get to determine what the email subject line is and the body of the email is that that person will receive. So you can come in here and customize this if you want. You can add the text to the body of the email if you want. You can even pick a different message for every person that is going to receive it if you don't want them to have the same message. You would do that by choosing that box. And now you'll edit the email for that person. You can even choose a particular language. Note, please note that that will only affect the language in the email subject and message. It doesn't change the language on the forms. It's only applied to the email itself. So you have the choice to send them a separate email for each one, choose a different language, or just have a standard blanket message that goes to everybody. Amy, yes, it's recorded and will be put on our YouTube channel, but you can always go there. There's class archives now where you can go back and watch the archive if you need it. I'll actually throw that link in the chat really quick. Here you go. This is the most recent archive. So that way you can like pause it, go back to it if you need to. Okay. I know it's a lot and very important to your business. So now that you've gotten your documents figured out, your recipients, and also your message, now click Next. This takes you to your forms. In the center of the page, your forms will appear. You'll notice that all the information you added to those text boxes before already appear here. Notice that now those initial boxes and the signature boxes I was showing you earlier that did not appear in the edit stage. Let me scroll to the bottom of that form. There we go. Now you will see that those signature blocks are added there, and you should be good to go. On the left-hand side are your building blocks, so to speak. This is where you can add additional signatures, initials, dates, even text boxes if you do need to fill in some information. And over on the right, it shows a preview now, but when you start using the building blocks to add things to this form, some more in-depth edit options will be over here on the right. Let me show you what I mean. So let's just work right here from the signature block actually. Let's say I need to add a signature or an initial to this area. I make sure I'm under the right signer at the top. Notice they will color code. Each person will have a different color for signatures on these forms. When they get the forms too, by the way, like let's say when Scott gets his digital envelope to open and sign, he won't see all the fields that fake name has to do. He will only see the blue fields. It's color coded on this screen and showing you all the colors for you, the agent, so that you can make sure that they're all where they need to be. We'll say fake name. I need to add another initial here or something. So you can grab an initial block and put it where you need it to be. Sometimes you'll have a size adjustment that you can adjust the size as well. And over here on the right, notice our more in-depth edit features did open. One to really take note of is it a required field? This is automatically checked yes, since it's an initial. That means that that person would be required to address this box, take action on this box, whatever it is, whether it's to click to sign or click a radio button, they would have to do it in order to complete that envelope. Same with like check boxes and things like that. When you click those, notice that it already has it preset to be optional. So the signer will have the option to select them or not. It will be able to pass by that and complete the envelope without clicking these since they are optional. If you ever need to add a mandatory button, you can just drag and drop. And over here on the right, you can say that's not a required field or that is. Okay. And you double click it to select. There you go. All right. So you see how you can add whatever you need to add. This is how you would edit those flat PDFs. If you had that flat PDF that you uploaded from a device, from your computer, and it does not have those fields on it that you need them to have, this is where you build those. You would drag your text boxes, double click, add text here, or whatever you would need it to be. You can even add like a date signed field, add your signatures. You add whatever you need to add from the building blocks over here on the left. Okay, change to the next person, review those fields. If you need to add something, drag and drop. Okay, all right. Once you've added all the fields, you've reviewed them, this is exactly how you want it to be, then you have the option to send it to your contacts. Over here on the bottom right, you can choose send, which would be right away. You can choose the arrow and choose to send later and you schedule it. Or up here at the top, you have an action button where you can save and close and it'll help you save it as a draft. Okay. Do notice that you have a preview option as well at the top right. If you just want to go through and see what it's going to look like from the recipient's point of view, you can always click preview. Viewing as at the top left. So our blue guy, Scott Leroy, this is showing what he would see. Notice that the empty text boxes do not show, so that's good. But this is a great way to go through and make sure that the alignment of the text box is appropriate, that you don't have anything overlapping. And so you would just scroll through the document. Notice that the initials, let me go through another initial. The initial doesn't show if they are not the ones that have to initial that, but where that person has to sign, his boxes will show for him. Okay. And you can always click over to the next person to see his view. And just preview the forms, see how they have many more fields to fill out. All the little fields that we just added. Okay. And so close the preview when you're done. And again, send later, or save your draft up here at the top. We're just going to save and close at the top. If you had sent that to your contacts, you would always be able to come right here to your envelopes tab within your room, see the envelope, and you would see what status it's in. If it's a draft, if it's waiting on others, you can always also click the envelope And you have some options in here, like if you need to copy this envelope, view the details in the history, like maybe you need to see where's the envelope? Is it on signer number two? Who's holding up the progress, basically. You can always come and view envelope history and see where it is. It was sent to this person, they received it, that kind of thing. So you can come in here and see who's viewed it, who's signing, who has finished it, and who you're waiting on, essentially. This is also where you would come in to make changes to that envelope if for some reason something needs to be tweaked. I'm going to click X on this. Let's say it went out to all your contacts, they signed everything that they needed to sign, and now you need to turn it into your Market Center for compliance. Now you'll go back to your opportunities in Command, come to your Documents tab, and remember the checklist we were talking about earlier? This is a list of compliance documents that your Market Center either requires that you submit. A form may be conditional, or it could be optional. Let me see if we can find an optional. There's optional. So just pay attention to your labels here as to whether the form is required, conditional, or optional. It shows you the name of the form to the right of that. And then the field to that right is where you would upload this form. I'm going to scroll back up to the top. I can attach files from directly from Docusign or my device. Okay. So as long as I have DocuSign selected right there, you'll see a drop down field or a drop down menu here to the right. And if there are signed documents in that DocuSign room, they would appear here to choose from. So you would simply click on this field and choose the form from the drop down menu, and it would add it and show a green hyperlink form. And over here, it would say instead of not uploaded, it would show uploaded. If you have forms on your device, your computer, that you need to upload, you would swap out this box to My Computer, click Browse, and from your documents, you would choose the one you want to upload and choose Open. It'll take it just a second and it will turn into a hyperlink as well. Here's the hyperlink. You do have a couple options if you need to remove and upload another one. Maybe you made a mistake. You even have an option to print from right here as well. You can also drop your files by drag and drop. So I'll show you how to do that. You simply drag and drop. Try it again. Drag and drop. It's not working for us today. In a perfect world, you would drag and drop that particular field, that particular form. I'm going to try one more time, see if I can get this to work. He's not usually this stubborn. There we go. So I just drag and dropped onto the opportunity. Now you see that the form has turned into a hyperlink and the status has changed to uploaded. Once you come through all of these fields, you can even filter this column to make sure all your required forms are at the top. Once you've uploaded all of your forms, either from your computer or DocuSign, whichever you want to do, now you'll want to click Submit to MC. This will send it to your Market Center. They'll review it for compliance. They'll either approve it, add a note, have a question, need you to do something. Further, you will get notifications of all of that up here in your command notification bell. So just keep an eye on that. You should also probably receive emails when it comes to compliance items. And so then once your Market Center is done and approves, it will actually show an approved status for that folder. Remember, you will have one like for this listing opportunity. You will do this every time once you get the listing. Once it goes under contract, notice these forms are changing, and then once it's closed. Okay, so you'll want to submit to your Market Center when it's listed, under contract, and closed. For your buyer opportunities, it's when you sign that buyer agreement and go under contract, and then when you close. Okay. And that's it, guys. That's how you submit your forms to compliance, um, to your Market Center for compliance, and how they'll communicate back to you as well. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so that we can go over any questions that you may have. If you're watching this back on recording right now, you can always reach out to us for help by emailing us at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be happy to help. If you're here with me live right now, go ahead and drop your questions or comments in the chat. I'll be happy to stay for a couple of minutes and get those answered for you. Thanks for watching.